The Chosen Season 4 has just concluded its second week of production. That means we are now 9 days into this filming, which will be 74, 75 days roughly. They took Good Friday off, as they rightfully should have, to be respectful. This week is all the more showing proof that this season is going to be heavy and dark. If you're not caught up on what exactly The Chosen has been filming or what they're planning to do for Season 4, I've had videos covering what exactly we're going to see this season, as well as what they filmed in the first week of filming, which you can check out my week 1 filming breakdown if you haven't already. And real quick, I do want to say a spoiler warning for those of you who do not want to know what's coming up in the upcoming season. If you want to go in blindly and you're not really comfortable with hearing my predictions ahead of time, then I totally get you. I would advise that you don't watch this video. We have lots to break down here, so this is going to be a very fun video. And if you want to see my breakdowns in the future about every week of filming until The Chosen Season 4 releases, then you're going to want to subscribe to this YouTube channel and turn on all notifications for Against the Current A The Chosen YouTube channel. And with that said, let's go ahead and roll that intro. So before we get into the filming breakdown, I do want to address some things from last week that I'd like to clear up in regards to, first of all, the baby that we see on set. I mentioned in my last video that there is a little infant child who we see on set that they were using to film for The Chosen Season 4, and I was kind of wondering what this baby would be and what the baby would be used for, and I didn't really mention any theories in the video, but most of you in the comments, some of you suggested that it's going to be Zachariah and Elizabeth, and that this is going to be the birth of John the Baptist, which I think is a very good theory, that those of you who suggested that, because we're going to get into today why that theory is actually very, very likely and is probably going to happen. As well as some of you pointed out in an interview that Dallas did with the actress of young Mary back around Christmas time, he mentioned that there's going to be some early scenes this season with young Mary, so I think there's going to be some scenes with young Mary and Elizabeth and Zachariah. Also, I'd like to point this out because a lot of you were commenting about how Zebedee's oil business is going to be, you guys think it's going to be used to have the oil that is in the alabaster jar that Mary pours on Jesus' feet. And I'm here to actually refute this theory. I didn't say anything to those who said in the comments of the last video, but I'm here to refute this theory because in John 12 verse 3, it reads, Mary took a pound or 11.5 ounces of nard and poured it on Jesus' feet. And nard is native to the Himalayas of India, not in the area of Jerusalem or Capernaum where Zebedee's oil business is based out of. So Zebedee's oil business is definitely not going to house the nard, very expensive, very sophisticated oil. It comes from very far away, it's very expensive, and very much not going to be a part of Zebedee's oil business. I would see how those of you would think that, and I just didn't say it in the video because I had known that piece of information beforehand, and I didn't want to say it in that video. But since so many of you pointed out, I did want to clear that up. That is not going to be the case. This oil business is not going to lead to the nard that anoints Jesus' feet in John 12. With all that cleared up, let's go ahead and get started. And on day 1, we have this image of David Amito playing John the Baptist. And so this week was very much about John the Baptist's life, or, the end of it. Because this season is where John the Baptist will meet his untimely end, unfortunately. This has been set up since season 2. We know it's in the Bible. John the Baptist dies. He is beheaded, as we can see from a video from the director himself, Dallas Jenkins.
Behind you, sir.
This week was very much focused around filming the death of John the Baptist, and it's pretty much confirming that scene that we saw Jonathan as Jesus in last week was definitely him reacting to John the Baptist's death, because apparently Dallas has said that he wants to film more in sequential order this year, because the Walking on Water last year for season 3 filming, the Walking on Water scene was filmed in the second week of filming, and that was the finale of the season, so they filmed very much out of order last year. But this year, Dallas has said that he wants to shoot more in order, so all of this is going to happen in early episodes. Like, this is definitely, John the Baptist's death is probably going to happen in episode 1. And episode 1 is going to be focused mostly around John the Baptist, I'd say, depending on their details that we learn, and that I'll get to in a second. But this first day was definitely focused on filming John the Baptist's death scene. We get that picture of John the Baptist, as well as this video from someone who was on the Chosen set. And if you look on that video, on that wall, there is some graffiti there, and it was very common in this time for people to leave graffiti on like Roman inns and stuff. Apparently this is a common phrase that we left on Roman inns, and it's Talia te fallant utiam medicancia, or I don't know, something like Latin or Greek or something. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know how to read it, but it translates to, if only similar swindling would dupe you, innkeeper, then sell the water and drink the undiluted wine yourself. So I honestly have no idea what that means, but that's an insult that people would leave on Roman inns at this time. And I just saw that graffiti on the wall and thought I would translate it just because, that's how my brain works. That picture and that clip were both from day 6 of filming. And what mostly entailed for day 6 of filming was the scene where this carriage is riding into town and riding through town, probably going to the synagogue, because it contains a new character who I will share my theories on who this character is going to be. But this character is riding into the synagogue to maybe have a very important conversation or something like that. But whoever this is riding into town in this carriage and riding to the synagogue, and it is a new character who we have not seen in this show yet. But again, later I'll share my theories as to who it could be. So we have day 6, but now moving on to day 7, we have our first scene where we have all of our favorite disciples back, the main characters, the guys who we are here to see. And of course, obviously, it's always good to see Shahar again. Shahar. All of the disciples is what I meant to say, but mostly Shahar. It's always nice to see all of the disciples back and together, the whole band, and they're all standing in a circle having conversation. We also have Tamar, Rama, Mary Magdalene. The whole gang's back together, and I love to see it. Here's the clip. I'll play it for you right here.
Abba wasn't the only one trying to close a deal yesterday.
You can ask her. Why, yes, I'm curious about the little songbirds. Lovebirds. It's songbirds. It's always been songbirds.
John mentioned something about someone not having to do a deal yesterday, so again, this is more in line with how they're shooting in sequential order this time, because they just filmed a scene where James, Big John, and Zebedee and Tamar had this deal going down at the synagogue, and they were trying to get a blessing from the synagogue on this oil or whatever's in this box that they're selling. And then now moving into this next scene, he references that deal that just went down and that thing they just did. So this definitely is more evidence that they are shooting in sequential order this time, which is nice for us because it makes it a little easier to guess when and where things are happening. But anyways, the disciples are having this conversation. They're all standing in a circle. They're all chatting it up, as the disciples usually do, and we love to see it. And again, in day 7, we get more of this carriage riding through town. And we'll get more of that scene in just a second in the coming days. But mainly on day 7, we have this character returning, and that is Joanna. The actress herself confirmed that she's back on set. And there's this video from the writer Tyler Thompson. Where we see this woman in this cloak. And, I'm no expert, but actually, I guess I am kind of an expert. I am the chosen breakdown guy, so maybe I am. We have this woman in this robe, and this is, pretty much Joanna. This is Joanna. She's back, and she's probably bringing the sad and unfortunate news that John the Baptist kind of lost his head a little bit. Point in story for day 7, Joanna is back, and she was a very fun character to see in Season 3, Episode 1. We always like to see these great characters in The Chosen returning, so it's nice to see more of her. Moving on to day 8, we get this clip from the director Dallas Jenkins right here. Where it seems that we are at Gaius' house, and Matthew and Gaius are having a conversation in this scene. Now, we didn't get a whole lot from the 8th day of filming for The Chosen Season 4, but out of what we did get, it is obvious that Matthew is at Gaius' house, and maybe this is Gaius telling Matthew about his sick, dying servant. It'll be interesting to see what the scene is. But we have heard from the director Dallas Jenkins himself in an interview with yours truly that Gaius' storyline will be wrapped up this season. I don't think that means Gaius is going to exit the show or go away, but this building event of Gaius being the centurion whose servant is healed is definitely going to be resolved this season. So that's kind of what this building up is going to be. I also would like to throw in here, we have this picture from the set designer for The Chosen Season 4. It says location scout, and we have this picture in a field of blue bonnets because it is blue bonnet season in Texas right now. But I hope this is not a location that they're using for The Chosen Season 4 because blue bonnets are native to Texas, not Israel or Jerusalem. So it'd be kind of weird if they had blue bonnets in the show. But interesting picture nonetheless, and I just kind of wanted to throw that in here. But moving on to the final day of filming this week, since they didn't film on Friday to be respectful of Good Friday, which happy Easter by the way, we have a big scene in the synagogue, and a scene where I believe we will see the introduction of the one and only Caiaphas, the high priest, and I think this is a meeting of the Sanhedrin. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a meeting of the Sanhedrin, the 70 people who were elected from the Pharisees, the scribes, and the Sadducees to all convene and meet together, all under the rulership of the high priest, who is Caiaphas at this time. As I'll get into later, again, we know that for a fact that Caiaphas is going to show up this season. So I think that Caiaphas is going to be here in this scene. And as you can see from this clip right here, the main focus is on the lamp or oil thing or whatever that's right there. But in the background, out of focus, it looks like that might be the one and only Sea Dog, or, Caiaphas as regular people call him. As Dallas Jenkins shows in this clip right here, it's a rabbi parade. So again, I think this is the Sanhedrin. I think they're having a meeting of some sort here in the synagogue. Also, it looks to be Judas right there sitting down and writing at a scroll. Now, this is a back angle. You can't really see the face of whoever this person is. It could possibly not be Judas, but it looks like his new Season 4 uniform, and that looks like the same hair and beard to me. So it would be interesting to see if Judas is actually there at this meeting of the Sanhedrin. I don't know if it would make sense, and you can let me know. That might be a dumb theory, but it kind of looks like Judas to me, so I just wanted to throw that out there for you guys. We also have, in this picture right here from Chris and Jelaine on the Facebook group The Chosen Insiders, this picture of this man walking up to the synagogue. It was a little video of him walking up, but this is an important official. I think this is who was riding in the carriage that we've been seeing being filmed all week. And he was also in a scene, I think, in the previous week as well. But whoever this new character is a character who I think is named Levi, and I'll tell you about him in just a second. But that's also the other thing we got this week for The Chosen Season 4. So there you have it. There's my breakdown of Week 2 of The Chosen Season 4 filming. So if you enjoyed this video, and if you enjoyed hearing my thoughts on all of the upcoming things in The Chosen Season 4, then be sure to leave a comment down below and share your theories for all of the stuff I shared with you. And what do you think is going to happen in The Chosen Season 4? Or do you agree with my theories? Do you disagree? Do you think I'm just not that great? Let me know all that good stuff down below in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like on it. And I will see you guys in my next video.
I was one way